Welcome back my YouTube channel. Today, we're diving into the fascinating history of the 2 Rand coin from South Africa, issued in 1991, a small but powerful piece of metal that tells a big story about the country's journey through change, economy, and culture. Let's explore how this coin came to be, what it represents, and why it holds a special place in South African numismatic history. The story of the 2 Rand coin begins in the mid-20th century, when South Africa adopted the Rand currency system. Before 1961, the country used the South African pound, a system inherited from British rule. But on February 14, 1961, South Africa introduced its own currency, the Rand, named after the Witwatersrand, the ridge on which Johannesburg was built and where most of the country's gold was found. The new currency symbolized independence and economic identity. The Rand was divided into 100 cents, and coins of different denominations were introduced, ranging from small cent pieces to the larger Rand coins. The 2 Rand coin made its debut in 1989, replacing the earlier paper banknote of the same denomination. The reason for this change was simple: coins last much longer than paper money. Paper notes were out within a few years, while coins can stay in circulation for decades. This was a practical decision by the South African Reserve Bank to reduce production costs and improve the durability of everyday currency. By 1991, the 2 Rand coin had become a familiar part of South African daily life. It was made of nickel-plated copper, giving it a shiny silver color. The coin's diameter was 26 millimeters, and it weighed around 7 grams, making it sturdy and easy to recognize. Now, let's take a closer look at the design of the 1991 2 Rand coin. On the obverse side, or the front, you'll find the coat of arms of South Africa. This emblem was the official national symbol used from 1910 until 2000. It features a shield supported by a springbok and a gemsbok, 2 proud antelope species native to South Africa. Above the shield is a lion holding 4 rods, representing strength, unity, and authority. The coat of arms stands as a mark of South African heritage and sovereignty. Around the edge, the name of the country is written in both English and Afrikaans, South Africa, and SUID Africa, reflecting the country's bilingual policy at the time. On the reverse side, you'll see the elegant and iconic image of a kudu, one of Africa's most majestic antelope species. The kudu's long spiral horns make it one of the most recognizable animals in the region. This design was created by S.M. Nathan, a skilled South African artist. Below the image, you'll find the coin's denomination, 2 Rand, and the year of minting, 1991. The kudu design quickly became symbolic of South African wildlife and natural beauty, connecting the coin to the country's deep respect for its environment and biodiversity. But 1991 wasn't just any year in South Africa's history, it was a time of transformation. The early 1990s marked the beginning of the end of apartheid, a system of racial segregation that had divided the country for decades. In 1990, Nelson Mandela was released from prison after 27 years. The following year, in 1991, the South African government began repealing the remaining apartheid laws. This made the 2 Rand coin from 1991 more than just a currency, it became a symbol of change. It circulated during a period of hope and transition, as the nation began moving toward democracy and unity. The coin, in a sense, represents a piece of that turning point in South Africa's history. The South African Mint in Pretoria was responsible for producing the 1991 2 Rand coins. Each piece was carefully struck to meet high-quality standards, ensuring durability and consistency. Some coins were also minted as proof versions for collectors. These were polished and handled with special care, featuring mirror-like surfaces and sharp details. In circulation, however, the coin served a very practical purpose. The 2 Rand denomination had a strong purchasing power in the early 1990s. You could buy a newspaper, a loaf of bread, or even a short bus ride for that amount. Over time, inflation reduced its value, but back then, it was an important everyday coin used by millions of South Africans. Another interesting fact about the 2 Rand coin is how it evolved in later years. In 2001, the South African Mint introduced new designs for the Rand series, including updated coats of arms and security features. However, the kudu remained on the 2 Rand coin, showing how beloved and enduring that image had become. The modern 2 Rand coins are smaller and lighter, made with bimetallic materials or plated steel for cost efficiency. But collectors still treasure the older 1991 versions because they represent an era of transition, a bridge between the old South Africa and the new democratic nation that emerged in 1994. For coin collectors, or numismatists, the 1991 2 Rand coin is a modest yet meaningful find. It's not a rare coin in terms of mintage numbers, but its historical context and age make it a popular piece among those who appreciate African currency. Well-preserved coins, especially proof or uncirculated versions, can hold additional value. If you have one of these coins, take a closer look. The details in the kudu's horns, the clarity of the lettering, and the shine of the surface can all affect its collectible worth. Some coins with minting errors, such as double strikes or off-center images, are considered unique and can be valued higher by collectors. Beyond its monetary or collectible value, the 2 Rand coin from 1991 holds emotional and cultural significance. It tells a story of resilience, beauty, and change. It reminds South Africans of a time when the country stood on the edge of a new dawn, uncertain yet hopeful. Each time the coin passed from one hand to another, it silently witnessed the unfolding of history, from the streets of Johannesburg to the towns of Cape Town and Durban, from markets and schools to homes across the nation. So, the next time you come across a 1991 South African 2 Rand coin, remember, it's more than just metal. It's a symbol of unity, transformation, and pride. It captures a snapshot of South Africa at a crucial moment in its history, forever preserved in a small silver disc. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed learning about the history of the 1991 2 Rand coin, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing stories about coins from around the world.